Recently, I've been going through Stanley Kubrick's catalog, and it reminded me of the mystery surrounding his last film, Eyes Wide Shut, and more specifically his death, which was 6 days after the screening of the final cut, and the mysterious timing of it all, as well as the fan theories surrounding his death, people even believing he was murdered for Eyes Wide Shut, and his attempt to unveil the truth of Hollywood elites and secret societies. This will not be a theory video, but it will explore the film and its themes and why Hollywood executives were so eager to cut down the film, leaving 24 minutes of a Kubrick cut to be lost, which could have potentially exposed everything. Made in 1999, Eyes Wide Shut stars Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise and shot for 15 months, around 400 days, including a period of 46 weeks non-stop. The film currently holds the record for the longest film shoot, which I find interesting considering the whole film takes place in one night and not at all rigorous in its production compared to something huge like a Marvel movie. Although not usual for Kubrick, a scene of Tom Cruise walking through a door was filmed 95 times, so no wonder it took a long time. Eyes Wide Shut is Kubrick's final and darkest release in subject matter. Despite the long duration of production, as stated before, the film only takes place over 2 days around Christmas time. Dr. Bill Harford, Cruise, and his wife Alice, Kidman, have a tumultuous relationship. Neither one feels secure in their marriage. At a Christmas party, both Bill and Alice can be seen around people other than each other, Bill with 2 young women and Alice with a man. The night after the party, Alice expresses to Bill her attraction to another man and her consideration of leaving him and their daughter. Before Bill can address this with Alice, Bill gets called to a patient's house in the middle of the conversation and leaves. There, the patient's daughter attempts to seduce Bill, thus starting the many events that will happen throughout the night. After leaving his patient's house, Bill encounters many strange interactions throughout the night, which leads him to a mass party hosted by New York elites. While not being invited, out of curiosity, he sneaks in by obtaining the secret password from an old peer who is working at the party. Quickly, he realizes the sadistic nature of the party and generally disturbing atmosphere. While he should want to leave, he stays anyways. However, he's exposed as an outsider who doesn't belong. One of the masked women in the party sacrifices herself for Bill to get out and tells him to leave before it's too late. However, it is never confirmed what her sacrifice is within terms of the society. Bill leaves, not knowing what will happen to her. However, later it is implied she was killed. Throughout the rest of the film, Bill tries to unravel the secret of the party and finds strange similarities and connections between the two to all the events and people he had met over the past 2 days, blurring what is and isn't so. Everything leading back to that party and the true evil that lies after dark. In the end, Bill returns home and confides to Alice what had happened and apologizes to her. Both Bill and Alice realize their relationship is purely physical, and the idea of infidelity makes the urge stronger. Therefore, they forgive each other and the film ends. It's very obvious the film explores the nature of elite secret societies and the dark side of the power they hold, as well as ideas such as hedonism and sadism within relationships and hiding that desire. Every character in the film has deep desires, and the film plays with them and what happens after dark when they come out. And while erotic thrillers were huge in the 90s with films such as Basic Instinct, Fatal Attraction, and Crash, they never dove as deep as Eyes Wide Shut did. The film is not only sex or a tumultuous fare. According to the New York Times, Eyes Wide Shut is suffused with sexual possibility at every turn and uses frontal nudity to deliberately potent effect. Yet its mood is not strictly one of eroticism. Here sex and death are inextricably interwoven, never more so than in the vision of sexual purgatory in a ritualized moribund orgy scene, one that has been digitally censored to win the film its R rating. After the showing of the final cut to executives, they demanded for the film's more intense and sadistic scenes, a part of the party sequences, to be cut in order to reduce its rating from an NC-17 to an R rating. Even though Kubrick was obviously a household name and could rack in audiences just with his name alone. Not to mention Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise were not only co-stars, but married at the time, and now starring in this erotic thriller together. However, Kubrick refused to take out any scenes, and 6 days later, he died of a heart attack. Some theorists claim he was murdered, supposedly not only to cut out the scenes they wanted against Kubrick's wishes, but to keep hidden scenes that mirror and expose the Hollywood elite and secret societies like the Illuminati and the parties of Jeffrey Epstein, the scenes being too similar to the truth. Something else I found to be interesting is the heavy resemblance of the secret party in the film to the 1972 Surrealist Ball, hosted by the Rothschild family, a wealthy European banking dynasty. Invitations were sent out with a cryptic dress code: black tie, long dresses, and surrealist heads. Instructions were typed backwards so they had to be read in a mirror, and as guests arrived, the front of the chateau was floodlit as it were on fire. Along with the main staircase, servants and footmen, dressed as cats, pawed at each other and pretended to be asleep. Additionally, plates were covered in fur, tables were decorated with taxidermy tortoises, and food was served on a mannequin corpse on a bed of roses. Again, another piece of proof that shows Kubrick could have been getting too close to the truth with the NC-17 cut. The parties and societies not only being fictional, but real, and Kubrick could have exposed something huge with his cut. Eyes Wide Shut opened in theaters on July 16, 1999, and had a box office total of $162.1 million, doubling its budget of $65 million. The scenes Kubrick refused to take out were cut anyways against his wishes, supposedly 24 minutes being cut, leading the film to have a runtime of 2 hours and 39 minutes, and an R-rated per the studio's wishes. Since then, theorists and fans alike have questioned the film's completion, especially with the ending being seemingly too easy for a psychological tale of a movie, and with it being a Kubrick film. While I think it is interesting to think about the power the Hollywood elite have and the lengths they would go to protect their status, theories are just theories, and you can believe whatever you want to, but it is insane to think that there are even theories to begin with that Stanley Kubrick could have been murdered for getting too close to exposing the truth. The same Stanley Kubrick responsible for highly influential films such as 2001: A Space Odyssey, The Shining, Clockwork Orange, films that are studied in film schools and widely regarded. Does status really matter when it comes to exposing a hideous truth? What would the movie be like if those 24 minutes were kept in?